What's happening? It is Thursday, August 20th, 2026. I'm here at Mission Valley Mall, or as they call it now, the Valley. Let's see, there's a big old sign right over there. See, the Valley. You can see it. You saw it just fine. That tree was not in the way. You definitely saw it. Reason I'm here is it is Wednesday, and it is New Comic Book Wednesday, and I have a new obsession with comics right now. Of course, the Marvel movie Avengers Doomsday is coming out later this year in December, and Marvel put out this big list of like movies and stuff that you should watch before that movie comes out. So I have been watching a ton of Marvel stuff over the last few days. If you check my letterbox, it's just full of nothing but Marvel and Wet Hot American Summer. There is a comic book store here at Mission Valley Mall called Comics and Stuff. It's a big, not a big chain, but it's a chain here in San Diego. They've got locations at different malls. So we are going to go over there. And the seagulls are very loud. I don't know if you can hear the seagulls, but they're very loud today. They're starting to I think they're starting to annoy me with how loud they are. Seagulls, shh, stop it. Stop, seagulls. Shh. Shh. Please stop. They heard me. Actually, they left. They went away. Anyway, so we're going to Comics and Stuff. I'm going to go see if they got some... No, they came back. They came back. I'm going to see if they have any specific comics I'm looking for, and then maybe just check and see what's new. See what am I missing in the world of comics. I guess there's a big summer event going on right now called The Dark Queen, or the Black Queen, or something like that. It's about Hela, Thor's sister. So I guess that's a big thing. It's somehow tied into Venom. I don't know. Mary Jane is Venom now? I don't know. Anyway, so I'm gonna look around and see what they got. All right, let's go check out Comics and Stuff. So because Doomsday is going to lead into a Secret Wars movie, I have come to get or see if I can find any of the spin-off Secret Wars comics. So the Secret Wars was a big event that happened, I want to say in like 2015, maybe before that, maybe 2013 or 14. I'm trying to remember if Ian was born yet. Anyway, yeah, Secret Wars, big event. It like collapsed all of the various Marvel universes into one centralized universe. So if that spoils the movie for you a little bit, sorry. Anyway, so they made a bunch of like spin-off comics, and so there were some that I collected, some I didn't. So I just want to come and see if I can find any of those. So yeah, we're looking around. One of them was Marvel 1602, which they had a few, but not the whole thing. I'm doing pretty good so far. They have all of the Master of Kung Fu's. That's Shang-Chi, and they have also got the full Inhumans Attilan Rising issues. So not too bad. So far, they don't have the Deadpool series, which is not like surprising. Next, I'm going to be looking for some Marvel 1602 Witch Hunter Angela, and Red Skull, and a couple others. So keep you posted. Found a couple more. We've got Siege issues 1 through 4, and Red Skull issues 1 through 3. Very cool. We're doing pretty good. Again, still a few I haven't found, but I think we're doing pretty dang good. I think these are the new issues, but I'm not seeing that like Black Queen or whatever it's called. This Bishop, yeah, it goes from like Bishop to Bug Wars. I'm pretty sure these are the new ones because on the Marvel website, this issue of Avengers Armageddon was shown as being new. So I'm not sure. Alright, we've got our comics in this nice, attractive black plastic bag. I am heading back to the car. We're gonna go home. I'll go over the issues with you and talk a little bit about Secret Wars and how it might, you know, play itself out on screen in Doomsday. So probably a little bit of spoilers, but you know, so if you want to go into Doomsday cold, you could maybe come back to this later, or you can just enjoy it. And because, you know, I could be completely wrong, but we'll go over some stuff and all that. So let's head back home right now. All right, we are back home. We're listening to Me First and the Gimme Gimmes. Love their country. If you're not a fan of Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, or not aware of the band, they are a punk rock cover band, the world's greatest punk rock cover band. This album is all country songs that they are covering. This one right here is Ghost Riders in the Sky, one of my favorite songs by Me First and the Gimme Gimmes. If you look at my Apple Music listening stats, this song is way up there. So anyways, we're not here to talk about music. We're here to talk about comic books and Doomsday and Secret Wars and all that. So again, I'm going to go into some spoilers on the comics, which will potentially spoil the way this movie plays out. So if you don't want to know anything about this, then I guess, you know, stop watching this video, come back at a different time after you've seen Doomsday or you've read the comics or whatever. So the whole premise behind Secret Wars, the whole reason it came about, funny enough, is Marvel Studios, MCU, they were in a pissing match with Fox because they still owned the rights to the Fantastic Four and the X-Men for films, and Disney did not own Fox at this point. This was the 2010s, so the Secret Wars came out. I looked it up. It came out in 2015 because Disney and Fox were in this kind of war over comic book movies. Two things happened. One was that the X-Men, believe it or not, were sidelined for a while in the comics and replaced by the Inhumans. Remember the Inhumans? In fact, there was a whole miniseries, Secret Wars miniseries about the Inhumans. I had it, but I decided to put it back because I was already getting a bunch of issues and I didn't want to spend a ton of money today. Altogether, these put me back about, I don't know, $50. Probably more than I needed to spend, but adding in those Inhumans ones would have added like another $10, and I was like, I'm good, I don't need those. I'll stick with these. Anyway, so there's this whole thing about how, like, no one was allowed to create any new mutants in X-Men comics. They could only use existing X-Men characters, and they really kind of just took it down to a few titles because they really wanted to push the Inhumans because they were like, well, these are our new style of mutants that we can make movies about, so we're gonna make a ton of Inhumans comics, and it didn't work out. Not only did that Inhumans like TV show movie that they wanted to make fail, the comics all kind of failed too. But the other thing, the one that really kind of stung for long-time Marvel fans, was that Fox also owned the rights to the Fantastic Four in films, and because of that, Marvel just flat out canceled the Fantastic Four comic book series, being written by this guy named Jonathan Hickman. Great writer, great comic book writer. Go check out his stuff. Jonathan Hickman did some really good stuff with the Fantastic Four, and he also wrote Secret Wars. So anyway, to kind of wrap up the story of the Fantastic Four, they came up with this plan because they wanted to merge. Basically, Marvel had two comic book lines. They had the regular Marvel Universe and the Ultimate Marvel Universe, and they wanted to kind of merge those into one. They wanted to keep the best characters from each universe and put them together. So characters like Miles Morales, he was created in the Ultimate Marvel comic book universe. When they merged, they brought Miles into the main comic book Marvel universe, so now he could be with the Thor and the Captain America and the Peter Parker from the grander line of Marvel. So, like, all that history and now Miles' history kind of intertwined. So the idea is that as all these worlds are converging, and only a few superheroes know about it, they call themselves the Illuminati.
and they have built kind of like an arc to save specific characters, people, in this world. They're the only ones who know that the world is kind of exploded, or everything's converged into one. Sorry, I need some water. Okay, so where were we? Secret Wars, yes. So a group of heroes are kind of saved in this pod, and they're the only ones who kind of know that everything has gone to hell. All of the different Marvel universes, from the Ultimate Universe to the main universe, to they had some other universes and alternate universes, which we'll go over a little bit in these here. But basically, all these different worlds have merged into one, which kind of is alluded to in Deadpool and Wolverine, where all these kind of like errant timelines have like converged. Like if your timeline is destroyed, like some of the people get sent to like that weird limbo spot. That's kind of what's happening in the comic book universe, right? Sorry, very sweaty. What happens is Doctor Doom kind of becomes a god-like figure here, and he rules over what is called Battle World. And everybody, all these different heroes have their own little sections. They're all kind of like quarantined off from one another, all ruled by Doom. And he is just kind of like deciding, which heroes survive in their own little worlds and which ones go away. If you try to challenge Doom, you're immediately killed. And he's kind of like holding various characters hostage and brainwashed and all that. So the heroes who know that everything is screwed up, they obviously fight against Doom, and that's the big conflict, right? And I think that's going to be the second movie, because I believe the next Avengers after Doomsday is called Secret Wars, I think. So that'll probably be that. So I think Doomsday is going to be the story in Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four that kind of set up the creation of Battle World, and then Secret Wars will be the conclusion and how the whole Marvel universe is rebuilt at the end of that story, which is a very moving, very touching tribute to the Fantastic Four. It's so funny because the Secret Wars comic was made to put a cap on the Fantastic Four, to essentially end their story for an undetermined amount of time, because, like I said, Disney and Fox were in this fight, and Disney thought they could squeeze Fox out by eliminating Fantastic Four, which obviously it worked because Disney bought Fox, and then they made a Fantastic Four movie not too long after. Anyway, I'm not sure how they're going to end the Secret Wars movie when it finally comes out, because again, like I said, it was a very beautiful, touching tribute to the Fantastic Four, and they were the first big superhero group in Marvel Comics, and essentially they built Marvel, and that's kind of how Secret Wars ends. They build Marvel, what comes next in Marvel. And so by the Fantastic Four not being eliminated from the MCU, I don't know how you get that same kind of impact at the end of Secret Wars, but who knows? We'll see. I'm sure it'll be good, right? These Marvel movies are all pretty good, aren't they? So like any good Marvel comic book event, there's always crossover issues, tie-in issues. So like, when when Civil War came out in the early 2000s, they had the main Civil War book, right? It was like a 6-issue miniseries or whatever. But then each other book in the Marvel, comic book line had like Secret War or Civil War tie-ins, right? So like you had Iron Man, but they were all the Civil War crossover. So like told like a little side story that was happening outside of the main Civil War book, but was connected. Well, with the advent of Secret Wars, which basically, like I said, destroyed every Marvel comic book. At that point, Secret Wars came out, every other comic book was canceled. They were done. There was no more. Spider-Man, done. X-Men, done. Fantastic Four, done for reals. Name any, Deadpool, Ghost Rider, everybody, all their comics were axed. Whatever number they were on, that was it. And they were canceled, and there was no word on that comic book was even coming back. So, you can't have a crossover, you can't have tie-in issues if there's no comic books, right? So they did this unprecedented thing where they created a whole bunch of different comic books, brand new comic books that used existing characters but put them in these weird situations that frankly we would never get again. You could only do it this one time, and it was incredible. It was so much fun. You had one for Captain Marvel that put her as like a World War II pilot with a bunch of other different female superheroes. You had a Ghost Rider one where he was like a race car driver, and it was almost like a Mojo World kind of a thing, where a bunch of all the different Ghost Riders got together and they were like racers that like raced against each other. It was very cool. One of the things they did was, as part of this Battle World thing and the timelines converging and whatnot, is it kind of gave you almost like a what if situation. So they took all of these old miniseries from the past, Age of Ultron, Avengers vs. X-Men, Inferno, what else? Name them. There was a Civil War, Secret Wars thing. All these different things kind of came back. The Infinity Gauntlet all came back as these standalone comics as well. So Inferno is one of those. This is a miniseries from the 80s with the X-Men, where demons were trying to take over the Earth or whatever, and the X-Men had to stop them. So this Inferno here, it is a 5-issue miniseries, intimates what if the demons won, what would that look like? And that was the world that was created in Battle World by Doctor Doom, because he's a weirdo who just does stuff like that. So this should be pretty interesting. I did not read this one when it came out, so very excited to dive into that, because I love the X-Men, and I like when they kind of go, when the Marvel Universe goes like dark and weird with like monsters and stuff. So I'm very excited to look this over. Another series I picked up was Master of Kung Fu. This is, of course, Shang-Chi. He is a big part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe now. So I'm almost curious. So the way this one works out is Doom creates like a Kung Fu world, essentially. A Kunlun, where like Shang-Chi is. Iron Fist kind of comes from the Kunlun area. So I don't know who exactly is in this miniseries. I don't know if Iron Fist shows up. I don't know if we get anything with like Moon Knight or anything like that. But this is about Shang-Chi. And since he is part of the MCU, I'm curious if anything from this little miniseries is going to make it into the films. Perhaps there will be worlds created by Doom for these characters, and maybe that's how they'll have to get back together. Like, they'll be like, oh, we need to find Shang-Chi. Oh, he's stuck in, Kunlun world. We need to go pull him out of that. So that's hopefully, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But this looks cool. Very excited to check it out. Now, this next one for me is actually really interesting. This is Red Skull. It is a 3-issue miniseries, a quick and dirty one. But what's interesting to me about this one is, so the premise of Red Skull, I looked it up online. Doom thinks that Red Skull, who is presumed to be dead, is coming to take his throne, take over the god ship that Doom holds over everybody in Battle World. And so he sends a group of supervillains to go out and check and make sure that he is actually dead, and if he's not, to kill him. Now, there is a group of supervillains very famously in the Marvel Universe. They're called the Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts was a big movie that just came out, and we know that the Thunderbolts are going to be a huge part of the upcoming Doomsday film. Now, is this little miniseries also going to be part of the Secret Wars movie somehow? Like, are they going to have the Thunderbolts go out and try to find the Red Skull? Because part of the Marvel Doomsday homework was to watch Captain America: The First Avenger, which the main villain in that is the Red Skull, and then Red Skull shows up again in Infinity War and Endgame, which are also part of the homework. So are they going to have some Red Skull representation in Doomsday and Secret Wars? I don't know, but I am very, very excited to read this one, because I would love to see this potentially make it to the big screen. I think that would be pretty rad. And the last series I'm going to go over that I picked up today that I did not read initially, this is called Siege. This is, I didn't know really anything about this, and I'm not sure exactly who the main, like, characters are in this. Obviously, you see Thanos there. I'm not sure who that is on the cover there. But Siege, my understanding, the quick synopsis that I read, because I didn't want to read too much, because I didn't want to, have anything spoiled for me before I read it, is that, so the way Battle World works is Doom lives kind of in the, I don't know if it's the center of the world, but he lives in his own little area, and it's closed off by this giant, massive wall that on the other side of the wall is what is called the Deadlands. And the Deadlands is where, so Marvel Zombies was another big kind of miniseries from Marvel. That universe also got merged with all the others in Battle World. So outside of the wall is the Deadlands. That's where all the zombies are. That's where Ultron's robot army is as well. And there's some heroes stuck out there too. Some heroes will get exiled out to the Deadlands, where they basically have to try to survive, but they usually will die because there's so many superhero zombies, and it's hard to survive that. Anyway, so Siege is kind of the last stand for any hero or character that pisses off Doom. They are the Watchers of the Wall. Think Jon Snow in Game of Thrones, where they're watching for the White Walkers to stop them from coming over, and the Barbarian, the Wildlings, whatever they were called, over on the other side as well. So that is what Siege is about: a group of heroes stuck on the wall, having to protect Doom's realm from the horrors of the Deadlands. This one could be really interesting and really exciting. I don't know if they'll have anything like this in the films. Perhaps there will be a scenario where some heroes are sent to the wall. Maybe some of our good heroes are stuck in the Deadlands and they need to get the help of some of the heroes on the wall. Who knows? I don't know. Marvel, come talk to me. I'll help you write this screenplay. Don't worry, we'll get through it. But anyway, that was Siege. Very excited to check this one out. Well, I have quite a bit of reading ahead of me, on top of trying to read Needful Things, the latest Stephen King novel. And I also checked out a Daredevil book from the library. I've just got reading all over the place. I'm trying to read a Star Wars novel on my Kindle, on the Kindle app on my phone. So I have a lot to get through, ladies and gentlemen. My days and my nights are full. When I'm not filming vlogs or watching movies or playing video games, I'm reading. In fact, video game playing has taken a kind of a nosedive for me. I've not really played many video games. Now, to be fair, in the summertime, not a lot of great video games come out. All the big games are coming out in the fall, so I'm sure that will change once stuff like Wolverine and Grand Theft Auto and Zelda Ocarina of Time remake come out. I'm sure I will be plenty busy with those when that happens. But in the meantime, I'm going to get to reading. I got a lot to do. And get myself ready for Doomsday and Secret Wars. I haven't been this excited about the Marvel Cinematic Universe in a while. I'll see you next time, everybody. This is the Daily Vlog. We'll have a new video tomorrow. I hope you had a good time listening to me talk about Secret Wars. Go read some comic books. Go watch some movies. Go listen to some music. Enjoy your life. Enjoy the art that people have made. Human beings have created art. Go do your best to absorb it. Don't let this AI world destroy your enjoyment and pleasure of something created by a human being. Please go partake of something artistic that was created by a human being. Take care. Bye-bye.